Hey everybody, it's Dena, and I don't usually go live when I'm upset, but I decided to go live because this is like the other side when things aren't really that funny. I just left my daughter's IEP meeting, and I've talked about my daughter before. She has anxiety and some learning issues. I'm at a CVS and I just called my husband because I just she's going to high school, and I'm trying to do my best to prepare her, and she's having problems. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to get it out because I think I'm tired, and I'm at CVS again, and I always cry at CVS, and I can't believe that I'm the only person that cries in the CVS parking lot after their kids have a bad IEP meeting. But I'm trying to get her testing, like her school tests, either read to her or given to her in a different way so that we can figure out what she knows. And the teachers were lovely and are trying so hard to help me, and that's why I love teachers, and it's why I made the teacher video. Drinking at stupid Target. I love Target. You're not stupid. I'm just upset, Target. I didn't mean that. But the teachers are sitting there and trying to help me figure this out. And our case manager said, let's talk about, what are these different ways that she can take the test, and let's get an accurate understanding of what she really knows. And instead of putting her in resource rooms all the time, let's try to keep her on level and give her support. And I'm trying to do everything, to say everything right, so I can get her in a good place for next year. And I said, can we talk about these other ways? And I said, I just want to make sure that we can get her the testing the way that she needs it. Maybe it's not a fill-in. Maybe it's not multiple choice. Maybe we could talk about, she could tell you what she knows. And isn't that still a good barometer of what she knows? This whole process has made me look at our educational system in such a different way. And I see so many teachers trying to help me, but not having the resources or the leniency to do it. And so I said, can we talk about what we can do? And she said, well, I think it's fine. The case manager, I think it's fine. And I was like, it's not fine because she's failing every test. She's like, but she does have a 70. I was like, that's because she does her homework, but it's not working. It's not working what we're doing. So maybe you could just try to give her an oral test and let's compare it and let's see which one is better. And if we find out that she understands it better this way, why wouldn't we try it? I only have a few more months to figure this out for high school. And I said, isn't this what we should be doing? We should be trying. And she looked at me and she said, I am not going to be making any changes to her IEP. That is the high school's job. And if the high school wants to make changes because they think that that is best, then that's what the high school can do. And then my head exploded. I'm sitting here and the teachers are sitting here and we're all trying to put all of our feedback on the table and find the best way to teach this one kid who's different than everybody else. And you know what? There are more kids that are different than everybody else. The norm is becoming so small. So why are we making every kid be tested the same way? And if my daughter can tell you what she understands, then why is that not enough? So she said, I am not making any changes to the IEP. You can deal with that at the high school. And I said, what are you talking about? We have 3 months left. Why wouldn't we make changes to the IEP now? Why wouldn't we try everything? I'm sorry. This isn't just today. This is years. I'm gonna just breathe. We have to do, all of us, teachers, parents, and mind you, every teacher that was in that room was like, let's try this, let's try this. And you know what? Let's see how she does on this one today, and let me compare it to this one. And I just stand by all of the teachers that have helped my daughter. And I just think that we need to give our teachers and our educators and our administrators the ability to teach kids the way that they need to learn. That's all that I am trying to do. And I see someone's mentioning an advocate, and I did the advocate. And I paid a ridiculous amount of money just to get somebody to listen to the same things that I was saying, that I had to bring an advocate in for. And I don't understand why me as an advocate has to get another advocate just to get to somebody to hear what I'm saying. I shouldn't have to cry in a parking lot after an IEP meeting. I think any time is a good time to change an IEP if we know it isn't working. And I would like if people could stop telling me what a good job we're doing when we're failing. And I don't care about the grades, and I tell my daughter that every single time. But if we, as parents and educators, can see that there's failing grades, and we tell our children, it doesn't matter because we're going to keep trying and we're going to find the thing that works for you. And then come back to the table as adults and just say, I'm not going to change this IEP right now because they can take care of it at a high school, is not okay. I don't know that our children ever know how many times we cry in a parking lot or anywhere, in our bathroom. But I know it is right to advocate for her, so I will keep doing it. It would just be so much easier if the people sitting across the table could get on board and say, hey, I get what you're saying, and you're right, and we should be doing everything we can, and we will change this IEP every time we get to a spot and a place where we're like, we can do better. Then we should be making changes to the IEP. And perhaps we should be making some changes to the school and how we teach it. I just think that there are so many people that cry in their cars after IEP meetings because they're so frustrated. She left the meeting. She took a phone call. And so I was left with just me and the teachers. And they were lovely. And the teacher was like, listen, if you want me to read this to her, I'm going to let her take this other test. I'm going to read it to her. He said, but I want you to know, I can give you results and I can tell you, yes, conversationally she knows this. But I am not able to relay that into a grade for her. Because it's not a thing. Like, when she goes to high school, they're going to expect that she knows this on paper. And I just think, so what do you do? What do you do when you have a kid who's intelligent and beautiful and has a mind like no other? And we tell them, you all have to fill in. You have to fill in these little spaces or you don't understand it. And that is not true. BC student, the whole time. I eventually figured out my brain, but it wasn't until college. And now I barely use it and I make videos. It doesn't matter. But everybody learns differently. And I don't think that in 8th grade that she has to learn the same way as everybody else, and she never will. You know, one of the teachers said, what is your plan for Brooke? What are Brooke's plans? What does she want to do after high school? I said, I have no idea. I said, we have spent the better part of 6 years trying to figure out her beautiful brain. And, I said today, I don't think I've ever been more clear as to what she needs. Never. I spent years trying to convince people that there was something not quite the norm. Years trying to convince people. And then years trying to figure out what it was. And now I'm here. And now I'm sitting at the table and I'm telling you, she can't remember things. And the things that she can remember are spotty. She gets big picture. She gets details. And it's all in there and it can't come out. It's a processing issue. And her best asset is her ability to speak. So why don't we test her that way? The best way. The best asset that she has. There are some people who do amazing things and they don't know how to fill in a word bank. They don't know how to do it. We would just have so many creative, wonderful, gifted leaders and people if we just take this group of kids who don't learn the same way as everybody and we teach them and we assess them the way that their brain works. And so I hope that no one is ever told in an IEP meeting, I will not make any changes to her IEP. They can do that next year. When it is April. It is April. And I still have some time. And maybe that time doesn't mean anything to you. But if I can make some small discoveries about her brain before the end of this school year, before I throw her into high school, then I'm going to try to make them. And I'm going to work with these teachers to try to make them, whether or not you think that they're valuable. I think this whole process, I vacillate between anger and sadness. And somewhere in between is helpless. Because how can you know that there's a problem and not have anybody that can tell you how to fix it? Or, in this case, be willing to help you figure it out together. Because that's what I think we're supposed to be doing. So for any parent that has to leave their IEP meeting and has to cry in a CVS parking lot, I guess we should just know that we're doing the right thing. Whether or not it leads to actually moving in the right direction. You know, I think I was okay when I was leaving. And then one of the teachers who has been working one-on-one with her and has literally been sending me emails, long emails over spring break. Hey, we're reading this, and you know, I thought this might be too much for her. Maybe you want to look at it first. We can talk about it. She stopped and she said, listen, maybe we can talk about some options. And she was just wonderful. And just trying to make me feel better. And I have cried in parking lots. I've cried in boiler rooms when I couldn't even get to the parking lot. So I just made a right turn into the boiler room and I cried there for a while. And she said to me, you know what? I'm gonna call you later. She said, he probably won't recognize my number, but we can talk. And that's why I love teachers. I don't know that I can say that I love the system, but I do love teachers, and I love anybody who is willing to see my beautiful child with her beautiful brain and say, you know what? We're gonna figure this out. And I'm not looking for perfect. I'm just looking for her to feel like whatever brain, beautiful brain she was born with is perfect and wonderful, and it was given to her so that she can achieve whatever wonderful thing that she needs to do. And that's what I believe. I don't want her to be like everybody else. It's not who she is. I want her to be who she is and still be able to have a successful career in school. I don't think it's okay to tell kids who are different, who learn different, who act different, who see the world different. It's not okay for them to continue to see failing grades. It's not. Because she's still going to grow up and do wonderful things. I have cried so many times in my car. And I always thought, maybe we should talk about it. But I never did. And I've talked about her anxiety before. And I've talked about how frustrating it is before. But I think it's because I always felt like I had teachers and people that were like, we're going to do everything to help you and your daughter. But to be in a room today and have somebody say, I'm not making any changes to the IEP. They can take care of that at the high school. No, we're not going to do that because we have some time and we're going to make it better because we're capable, because we're adults and we went to school to be educators and we had babies to raise them, and together we are going to figure this out. So I'm not sure how I'm going to spend the rest of my day today. I just wanted to tell every mom who cries in a parking lot because their daughters or their sons are a little different, that if your gut tells you that this is what you need to be doing and this is what you need to be saying, then you need to say it. Even if it means that you end up crying in a parking lot. You know, and in the grand scheme of things, my daughter has ADD, she has anxiety, and she has a learning disability. But I know that there are moms out there who deal with so much more. And to all of you, you have my heart. I think this is difficult, and I only deal with it on a very small scale. And I always think to myself that Brooke was a gift, because without her, I don't know that I would see this other part. I have two very typical learners, and to have a kid that's just a little different in any way, it just makes you slow down a little bit. So Jim just pulled up. I called him earlier, so he found me at CVS. So now I think we're both crying in the parking lot. Anyway. So, yeah, they don't have cheap wine at this CVS, Marnie. They don't have wine at our CVS.
What did I say about drinking during the day?
Anyway, so any mom out there doing good things for your kids, keep doing it. And you know, maybe I should bring a friend to the IEP meeting. Maybe I should bring some tissues to the IEP meeting. I don't know. But if you get a chance, share this video with somebody that needs to hear it. Somebody that maybe you know cries in the parking lot by themselves. Yeah. Yes, thank you to all the teachers. I'm telling you, I think that, you know, I feel very sad that this is how this meeting, this one thing that she said. I mean, otherwise it was a fine meeting, but why would you say that? Why would you say we're not changing the IEP? I just think that there's better things to say in an IEP meeting. But I just want to thank again, and I will drink at a Target anytime for any teachers, because they were honestly and earnestly trying to help. And I know that we will get to a better place with Brooke. And yeah, this will all just be part of the story one day. She'll go on to do something great. And she'll say, yeah, my mom used to cry in a parking lot. All of our kids will say that. Most of our kids don't know. The only reason she'll know is because we're on Facebook. But yeah, he cried in the meeting in the parking lot. Alyssa, I'm sorry. So we're gonna keep trying. I'll keep you updated. I mean, we're all in this out together. And I'm going to see how the test goes tomorrow. And you know what? Maybe when he reads the test to her tomorrow, maybe it won't make any difference. But you know what? He tried. And he was willing to try anything. And that is important. And that I will always appreciate. So thank you to all the teachers. Everywhere, and especially Brooks. So, I'll keep you updated. And either way, she's going to grow up and be a wonderful, beautiful child. So, thank you for listening. And good luck to all of you fighting the same fight. And yeah. So that's it. Yeah. I might send an email. I think I need to just let the day go on for a little while. You know, because I don't think it's so much, which, mean, the comment is an awful comment, but I think it just, it's just that you know that this will always be this way. There is always, the next 4 years of high school, there will always be this norm. And how much fighting do we need to do as parents and teachers to say, I don't think we're doing it right. I don't think we're nailing it. I don't think we should be failing this kid because he has a memory problem. I think he understands it, and I think we could do better. And so I don't know who's in charge of all of the reasons why we can't fix it, but I just know that there are some great teachers, and I've met them, and they have helped me, and there are some great moms and dads doing wonderful things. So yeah, well, I'll say some prayers, and things will get better. So for any mom out there, just know that you are not alone. It feels very alone when you're sitting in the parking lot, but you are not. And I will continue to talk about anxiety and how there were moments where she wouldn't go to school unless I sat in the office, and I sat there for months. And there are moments where she wouldn't go to school at all. And there were moments when I didn't know what to do, and I asked for help. And sometimes I got it and sometimes I didn't. But just know that you should talk about it. My daughter says all the time, why do you tell people that I have anxiety? I'm like, because there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It is like anything else. It's like needing glasses, or daddy has high blood pressure, or mommy's joints hurt all the time. It's the same. There's nothing wrong with you. And we're going to figure it out. So talk about it more. And make it so it's not a thing. It's not a bad thing. And I'm going to keep telling her that. And I'm going to keep not caring what her grades are until we as parents and teachers can figure out what do we need to do to make sure that what she has in here is coming out on paper and we are assessing her correctly, so she can go and do whatever she was meant to be doing, whatever beautiful thing that is. So, thanks for listening, everybody. I'll get through it. I'm gonna go for a ride up to New York today. So, yeah, there's that. There's comedy, and then there's real life, and I guess somewhere in between, this is gonna be funny one day. It's not today, I can tell you that right now. Today is not that day. But one day I will figure out how to make this funny, and all of us who have children who are a little different will sit around and laugh and laugh. But in the interim, keep doing a good job. And you know what? I think CVS would love it if more moms were crying in the parking lot. I love CVS, and I will come here every time. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Jim for showing up in the parking lot, which is not weird at all.
It's weird.
At all. He has a job. So thanks, everybody. And if you ever want to talk about anxiety, you know where to find me. Tipsy Tuesday is tomorrow, and we will have a lot to talk about and a lot of wine. So that's it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching, and keep up the good fight, all of those moms and dads, and keep fighting, even if it feels like nobody else believes you or wants to help. And reach out and talk about it, because there are lots of moms. You know, I have to say, in the times that I have talked about it, I have gotten note after note from people who will say, my daughter has the same issues, my son was just like this, and now he's 21 and he's great. And those are wonderful stories to hear. So do me a favor and talk about it with somebody, because they might be having a day. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching.